Hello internet world. Today has been a day for me gathering my thoughts, a day for me trying new things, and a day for me experimenting. And one of the first things I've been experimenting with actually for the past couple of weeks are different style thumbnails on the channel. I've always taken a great deal of pride in how I present my videos, and a thumbnail is the first thing that somebody sees to sort of engage with them and make them want to click that button to watch your video. And over the past couple of weeks I've been trying some different designs. Today I found that I had an hour that I wanted to dedicate to actually putting down some proper design work, and I think I've finally come up with something that I'm very happy with. And the reason I wanted to make this change is because I do a lot of different types of content. I do these videos where I talk to you every day. I do my reviews, I do my unboxings, and lots of different things in between. And I wanted something that would make each different category of content easily identifiable, and I think I've come up with a winner. So it's not going to be instant. You're not going to see these suddenly start tomorrow. They're going to gradually roll out on the channel over the next 2 or 3 weeks, and when you see them you will know what I'm talking about, and I hope you'll give me some feedback. So what else have I been doing? Well, apart from doing some video editing and scheduling the next couple of days videos, I've also been experimenting with a different format, an audio only format. Now the reason I did this is because about 2, maybe 3 years ago, I did have a podcast, and I regularly put content up there that I'd sort of encoded from some of my video footage. I didn't record just audio. But there are times of the day, and I'm using myself as an example here, and I'm sure that you'll connect with this. There are certain times when I don't want to be looking at this screen. You know, I don't want to engage fully and have to watch something. And those times of the day are when I'm driving, when I'm relaxing in the evening, when I'm going to bed. I often listen to podcasts, and it gives me a great opportunity to gather more information and more entertainment, and to really engage with something without having to be focusing on it. So what I decided to do was put up my first podcast in many years to SoundCloud, and it's just me talking about the technology I've experienced over the last week or so, and I've mixed that in with some viewer questions, some Twitter questions, also some thoughts on the tech news as well. So just a mixture of me sitting back nice and relaxed, unedited, so you will see some mistakes in there. It's not going to be a highly produced affair, it's just going to be me talking with you. So if that takes your fancy, I will leave a link to it in the video description. I'd really appreciate you listening and giving me some feedback, either on SoundCloud itself, or you can drop me a tweet or an email, entirely up to you, but any feedback is always welcome. So the rest of my day was still been DIY mode. I'm still doing DIY. Save me from the DIY. You know, I talked about this before, probably 3-4 months ago, when I was doing some work in the house, and I expressed my dislike for doing things like painting and decorating and fixing things, and a few of you said, well, you'll never get to enjoy it unless you actually practice, you know, and just do it and engage with the task at hand, and then things will become easier. And the reason I don't like it, well, it's 2 reasons actually. The first reason's quite sad. I'll come on to that I'll make that my first reason, because I said my first reason. So my first reason is quite sad, and that is that when I was growing up, my dad passed away when I was quite young, so I didn't have that time to learn DIY skills with my dad. I was too young at the time. I could see him doing DIY, fixing things, tinkering with his car, being in the workshop, but I was too young to physically take part. So that's one reason I think that I never sort of really enjoyed it. And the other reason is that whenever I've tried to do something, so for example, if I'm putting a door on with hinges, it's always that last screw that won't go in. Or when I'm hanging a picture even, something as simple as that, a very easy task. If I'm hanging a picture hook, which I did try in the studio, and I got one nail in, and of course then the second nail keeps bending as I'm hitting it into the wall, and I make a mess of the wall, and where the picture hook was meant to be, I then had to fill in the hole and repaint because the picture hook wouldn't go in. So there was probably an easier way around it, but I always find that when I'm doing DIY, there's always something that doesn't quite go right. And I will tell you about all that I've been doing DIY wise probably in about a week's time when I've completed the project. But there have been issues. There have been issues, and I don't know. I really don't know. I commend anyone who can do DIY. And in fact, I got to the stage now where there are certain tasks, and I know I can't afford to pay for every task to be done, but if I need a task done, here's a good example. I needed a fence put up. Now, about 10 years ago, we put a fence up. I say we, it was myself, my wife, my sister helped, and we put a fence up. We needed another fence put up probably about 2 years ago, and I would much rather pay somebody who knows what they're doing, get the job done quickly and professionally. I know it's going to stay standing, and I haven't had to go through the laborious process of cursing, hitting my thumb with a hammer, dealing with splinters, handling the fence and doing the whole job, digging out the post holes, cement, the whole lot. You know, I would much rather pay somebody who knows what they're doing. So that's sort of how I feel a little bit about DIY. Simple tasks, I must admit I'm okay with. If it's painting, something like that, I'm okay to tackle it. But anything more than that, I mean, oh dear, I just shake my head at it because it's just not my scene. You know, I just can't get into it. But anyway, I have waffled on enough. I haven't really caught up with a lot of tech news today, apart from a few things. One of which, I was just reading about it here. Let me scroll back to it to remind me what it was. Oh, that was it. It was about the iPad Air 2. And I think that it mentioned the iPad Mini 3 having NFC in it. I wonder why. Something to do with Apple Pay, no doubt. And I just think it's a real shame that Apple have put NFC in their devices and locked it down so that it can only be used for NFC. I hope that in the future they open it up to other things as well, because there's so much more that can be done with it other than just paying for things. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please do hit that like button. Please leave me some comments as well, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.